to get out and do some fun stuff in Southern Illinois. Our guest today, Jennifer Olson. You might be due for an award. This has been how many visits now?
I'm not sure. I think we're probably on about 15.
Okay. Jennifer Olson is the president CEO of the Carbondale Chamber of Commerce, and as usual, you got lots of stuff going on in Carbondale. What's on your radar this week?
Well, not necessarily this week, but just kind of giving an early heads up so people can mark their calendars. Hopefully we will have a repeat of this beautiful, awesome weather that we had this weekend when we have Celebrate 618. It really kicks off on the 9th and kind of culminates with a concert series known as Downtown Sounds on Saturday evening, and that is going to be at the Washington Street venue. So kind of on the corner there of Washington and Highway 13. But it's really cool, this event, because there's a lot of community partners involved, and it does a really great job of blending existing events that were already happening, like the first Sunset concert is that Thursday, and certainly blends in Brown Bag and Progressive Patio Tour, which were existing. And then there's a lot of new things happening. On that Sunday, there's going to be a gospel concert at the Varsity, for example. And the chamber pieces are the newest pieces to be added in. So on that Friday, the 14th, we're going to have a business after hours. And our goal, it's going to be 4:30 to 6:30 at the old depot, kind of open house style, and feature some of our members are going to be there. And the idea is that when you get off work, you just stay in town, and then we hope that you will buy tickets to go to the boathouse, Becker Pavilion, that is, and have dinner out there for luau at the lake, which, if you were there last year, was steak at the lake. It's just a little bit different menu. So,
and that's what night? That's the night of the 14th?
Yeah, that's the Friday. So we're just going to be your transition stop. You can come by the depot and spend time with us and have some light appetizers and beverages while you are transitioning from your work day to heading over to a reoccurring event, Luau on the Lake. So that's our first new event. And our idea of that business after hours is to kind of showcase Celebrate 618 and our members, because on Saturday, our piece of the puzzle is a vendor showcase. So we have some members and some of our not-for-profit organizations that will be on the property around the depot, specifically between the building and the caboose and train setup that's there. And so we wanted to have the Friday night event so people would get introduced to the layout of the land for Saturday and come back between 11 and 7 to visit with our member businesses and see what all they have going on. And again, just kind of talking about transitioning, that day, other events that are happening, Junior Jamboree, which is the kids area, it's going to be down between the Varsity and Dairy Queen, same hours. Across the tracks in the Washington Street venue, Main Street and Carbondale Community Arts and other organizations have secured art and craft vendors and food trucks. So that'll be, again, 11 to 7 just across from us, other side of the tracks. And then the ending at 7 is the kickoff of the concert series. So there's 4 well-known locally bands for Downtown Sound. So everything really weaves together, and you could just pack a cooler and a lawn chair and stay out all day.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, and again, this is year 2 of the event, and I think they did a really nice job this year with. Last year, I think everything was really condensed into a weekend, and this year they're having a string of things like nightly over week 7-9 days or something.
Yeah, it's a full week this year. Yep. And I think if this goes well, we'll maintain this and probably go more of a 10-day. But it's just a really nice opportunity. You're seeing a lot of different venues if you participate, whether that's the Varsity, whether that's the Carbondale Community Arts space, or our space. We drive by these buildings, hopefully within the speed limit. and we don't always take time to step inside. So I think this does a good job of showcasing events, entertainment, and the venues that are here.
Yeah, definitely. And then the event at the Becker Pavilion is like that's would be very cool. It's called Luau on the Lake this year, and I think he's really has a luau style cookout plan, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. It'll be dressed up sort of tiki bar style, and the food will reflect a Hawaiian luau. They'll have the boats out. There'll be lifeguards there, so you could take a paddle boat out and do a little sunset cruise, and it'll be a nice time to showcase that beautiful, beautiful facility.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's just a couple years old, and it's it's a beautiful setting. The deck, if you haven't been there, the deck kind of extends out over the water, and there's ducks and wildlife around, and it's also pretty accessible too, because I'm assuming that parking, I probably shouldn't have said that, but I'm assuming parking is available that night at the engineering building.
Yes, there will be parking there and the regular lot. There's the walkway itself out to the pavilion is really lovely. So good little photo spot for people to get their social media out there.
Yep. What else? What's next?
Okay.
What else are you guys working on?
Well, we always have our reoccurring monthly luncheon. That's the third Tuesday of each month. And this month, on June 18th, we're going to take it out to Giant City Lodge. So I say that early and often so people can block a little extra time to get out there. We have a really cool program. It's from an organization called Ready Nation. And really what they are all about is suggesting and giving some facts behind the fact that, workforce development and having a good pipeline of soft-skilled employees really starts with early childhood, and that, we need to think about really forwarding everything, pushing up job fairs and career talk earlier in the lives of children, making sure that all kids have access to preschool and, good programming within schools and after school. So he's really here to talk about just, let's start this earlier. Let's make sure that the work that we do in the early years for kids prepares them to ultimately be good citizens and good employees.
Yep. Yeah, and all the metrics indicate that, right?
Yeah,
and I know we talk about that a lot at workforce events, regional events, and there's tons of data that suggests the earlier you start reading and, in particular, much better outcomes.
Absolutely. I mean, and even just, I think sometimes we overlook the importance of summer programming and, how much capacity kids can lose over a summer. And so we'll hear a little bit about all that.
You're not advocating for year-round school, are you?
No. If I am, don't tell my kids.
Okay.
But the other thing that's going to be cool, besides, of course, excellent fried chicken at the lodge and a good program, and just kind of reminding our in-town citizenship that we have this beautiful park right on the edge, and it's. We kind of timed this venue with the kickoff of summer and reminding people to be active and get out there and enjoy our parks. But also, our not-for-profit spotlight is going to be Bald Knob Cross. And I can't tell you what their super surprise is, but they have a very nice, good, positive announcement to share with the group. So they are a member of ours, and we've kind of watched this opportunity come to be. So we're excited to have them spend 5 minutes as our spotlight telling us about what they have going on.
That's cool. That's a great choice, too. We were just talking about this the other day, that it is a bit off the beaten path, but it's a great atmosphere for lunch or dinner at the lodge. So that's cool. If people haven't been there or have missed being there for a while, this is a great opportunity to get out and enjoy it.
Well, and I think, too, the family, the Kelly family, they're such good supporters of athletics and our school system, and they're always hosting school groups out there. And I think, we need to pay people back a little bit sometimes and go out and patronize them. And something that came up when we did our Carbondale Young Professional Hidden Gems Night is we talked about the value in spending, 1 day a month kind of living like a tourist. And what we mean by that is when we have people in town, we are so good about taking them out, and we go to the wineries, we go to our favorite restaurant, we spend money at our little favorite shop because we want to show them all the uniqueness that we have in town and around town. We're not always so good about doing that on a regular weekend. You know, we kind of all get lost in our routine. We get our groceries and we mow our grass and we do whatever, but it could make a difference economically if we all spent one weekend or one Sunday or one Saturday living like a tourist. But also, it just reminds you how special things are here. And it, you know, I can give you a brochure. I can tell you how awesome Giant City Lodge is. But if you go there and you remember and remind yourself what it's like, you're going to be a better advocate for our features of our area than I could ever sell to you and give you secondhand.
Right.
It's that firsthand experience that you can really sell things to people.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I think it's easy to just kind of take things for granted, right? When you live here, then it's just what you said. You get out and start doing things, you realize how beautiful the area is and how much it has to offer. So, I think we're all probably guilty of that.
Sure. So that's my, if you remember one thing, it's live like a tourist, attend events, and patronize neat things that we have in our area.
Yep. So, let's see, Saluki Pride Dinner.
So, I guess I just wanted to take a minute to talk about Saluki Pride. They are a committee within the chamber, and I've probably said this before, but, you know, people think, oh, Saluki Pride, they are, you know, supporting Saluki athletics and the SIU as a whole. It must be their slow time in the summer, right? Not really. Because this is the time when they are spending a lot of effort to get things ready for when the students come back, and to court students and to court parents.
A lot of students on campus in the summer, correct? Yeah.
Oh, that too, absolutely. But, you know, Dinner in the Dale is a really cool thing that the committee participates with other partners like the city and Main Street and SIU, and that is simply a progressive dinner for students and parents who are here for open houses and new student orientations on campus. So our Saluki Pride Committee provides people to meet and greet along the way, and I just think it's a really cool thing. It introduces these prospects and committed to some of the more unique things that we have around town. So I love that. Of course, we are already talking about paw print painting. We do that the last Sunday of July and the first Sunday of August. It takes a substantial amount of volunteer power to get going at 5:30, 5:45 and get those 300, 400 paws freshened up for back to school. So doing that, and just, you know, a lot of ongoing efforts to kind of promote, you know, whether you call it town and gown, whether you call it partnership, just to really let SIU and let the students and future students know that it's not just SIU welcoming you, it's the town. You know, we want you here. We want you active and interacting with our businesses.
Yep. And then you mentioned the volunteer. I know that it's often hard to get enough volunteers. What if people are listening and want to get involved, can they?
Yeah,
and
absolutely. I mean, our phone number is 549-2146. We're in the depot. They could stop by, or our website is carbondale.chamber.com. And, you know, we do look for our volunteers to be adults. It is kind of a, you know, road work based thing. So there's some safety components, and that's really our only qualifier is, you know, that you have to be 18.
Yep.
So Saluki Pride is super busy, and I think another committee that is just doing some really cool work is our Economic Development Committee, and more specifically, its subcommittees. So 3 subcommittees that are themed around attracting and retention. So we have attracting and retaining residents, attracting and retaining students, and attracting and retaining business. And the 2 things I wanted to highlight this morning is the folks that are doing the work on residents. They have a really nice welcome gift bag for people who purchase a home within city limits. And those are out being distributed. And then also they have some signage that's sort of like the temporary, I call it the political sign or the realtor sign, that just says welcome home, that has the city logo, and they're putting those in the yards with permission. So it's just really nice way to recognize that we have a new neighbor.
Yep.
We should all stop in and say hello and make them feel welcome. So that's pretty cool. And then last but not least, the subcommittee on attracting and retaining business is working with the city, actually, to update the city's website. If you go on the website currently, to the far right, there's a tab that says, How Do I?
Yeah, explorecarbondale.com.
Yes, explorecarbondale.com. And now it will say, How do I start a business at some point when we get our work done? And it'll just kind of guide people through the process. Initially, it'll probably be pretty generic. What kind of permit do I need? Who inspects my plumbing?
Yep.
All that kind of guidance. But our end goal is that at some point it would be like a virtual flow chart. So our dream is that you would click on it and you could actually pick, like, how do I start a restaurant? How do I start a factory? So that you get guidance that's industry specific, because that'll be a little bit less muddy in the long run.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, restaurants in particular. Yeah.
Yes,
There's
absolutely.
different requirements.
Yes.
Right.
So that's all I have this morning.
Awesome. So, hey, a couple minutes left here. Again, there's a lot of stuff going on. For folks that may want to get involved with the chamber, some of these activities, how can they learn more, Jennifer? Again,
CarbondaleChamber.com is a great way to kind of get your pre-information down. Think about how you want to be involved. What's your passion? What are you most interested in? And from there, you can join us or reach out to us. We also have a generic info at CarbondaleChamber.com, and our phone is 549-2146.
Awesome. Jennifer, thanks again for joining us today, and have a great week. Hopefully the stays dry on Friday for you.
I hope so.
All right. Talk to you soon. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
We're going to take a quick station ID here and bring in our next guest.
WDBX 91.1 Carbondale. WDBX 91.1 Carbondale.
We're back. Back with Kevin Claney from Bank of Carbondale. Kevin, you are here to talk about a program that there's been some headlines here recently about it, and this is an awesome thing that we're doing here. Look, I'm so glad you're here to talk about it. So,
well, thanks for having me. It's the Veterans Honor Flight of Southern Illinois, and they raise money to take our veterans to the Washington, D.C. to see all the memorials and monuments that were built for the veterans and stuff. And so we have been working on a project for the last couple of years on raising money through a golf outing. So our next one's coming up next week on June 13th out at Hickory Ridge, and so we're still trying to get a few teams together and stuff, but we're looking like we're going to have another successful year of raising money to donate to the Honor Flight in Southern Illinois.
And the most recent Honor Flight was just a few weeks ago.
Just a few weeks ago, yeah. I forget the date exactly, but the flight was, they call it Mission Number 5. They had 86 veterans go with their guardians. Each veteran has a guardian. And actually a local Carbondale native, Mary Nell Chu, actually donated the money to pay for the flight.
Yeah, it was like $80,000.
Yeah, $83,000. It was a great gift.
Very, very generous gift.
And Mary Nell got to go on the flight with the guys and just had a great time.
Yeah.
I've been involved with it for the last couple years, doing fundraising, but my dad got to go on the honor flight several years ago. My father-in-law went a couple years ago. most of the ladies and men that go on these flights are usually hesitant about going, but once they go, they say it's one of the best days of their lives.
Yeah, I bet.
You know? So it's really a neat deal. Really
so how does, if somebody is a veteran and they wanted to go, like what's the procedure to do that?
Really, for the veterans, first and foremost, it's for any veteran. I had a conversation with a guy over the weekend. He said, well, I didn't ever go overseas and serve. I said, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
But basically, they can go to the website. It's Veterans Honor Flight of Southern Illinois.org, I think it is. And basically, you can sign up right there online. The trip is free to the veteran. The Honor Flight of Southern Illinois pays for everything. Each veteran has a guardian.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the guardians that go with them can be a relative or just someone that's signed up. The guardians do pay.
Yeah.
$600 for the guardian to go along with.
Yep.
But the veterans, it's a free day.
Yep.
They leave real early in the morning, usually about 6 o'clock out of Marion, and then they usually get back about 8 o'clock at night.
So if you want to be a chaperone, what do you have to do?
Guardians and chaperones are the same thing. You can go to the website and sign up, and I can tell you there is an extensive list of people wanting to be guardians.
Okay.
And so you just go out and you sign up. You got to do a little training
Mm-hmm.
about being a guardian, what you have to do to take care of all that, but there's quite a few people already signed up to be guardians. Really, they're looking for veterans. They run the veterans chronologically, for lack of a better term. Mm-hmm. The World War II guys and gals are still going. This last flight, we had 9 World War II vets on there. A couple of them were ladies. They were both nurses, an Army and a Navy. And then they worked through Korea.
Yep.
And then they're working there's some Vietnam vets that are getting ready to go.
Right.
They will give preference to some vets that may have some medical issues.
Right,
that,
right. Or people that are aging
a
that
little
get
bit
priority.
faster. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, so they get a little bit priority that way.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah. So you can go to the website to sign up for either one, being a guardian or a trip taker, I guess, for lack of a better term.
So the next one, it looks like the 6th mission that you're doing a fundraiser for is going to be on October 1st.
October 1st, right.
What's the total cost?
Total cost of a flight usually runs, and I will tell you, I haven't been in the bid process, but they bid the planes out, the jets that carry, but will run anywhere from $83,000 to $90,000. So what we try to do through the golf outing is raise as much money as we can to donate. There's other fundraisers that go along with it. My wife and I worked at one over the weekend that was the 100 Men Who Cook, or the Chef's Clash that one of the local banks sponsored, and all the money was going for that. So we were out there volunteering for Honor Flight people, and we actually picked up a sponsor while we were out there that night. So it was pretty neat.
That's pretty cool.
We did our first golf outing last year out at Hickory Ridge, and we're lucky enough, I don't know if lucky or good, but we raised $35,000 that we donated to the Honor Flight. This year's event, I think we set the bar a little high first year.
What's your goal this year?
Our goal this year would be $20,000 to $25,000, which I feel comfortable that we might be able to get to. We've got a lot of people signing up, a lot of sponsors coming in, a lot of corporate sponsors that are helping out. But the golfers can sign up, again, at the website. There's a Facebook. I'm not a Facebook guy, but there's a Facebook page out there that you can sign up. But the one thing I tell the golfers, unlike most events that you play in, your donation or your entry fee that comes in for the event goes all to the Honor Flight.
Yeah, there's no administrative cost with this, right?
No cost. My wife and I and a committee of people run this event. That's we do that free. The corporate sponsors help underwrite the cost of golf and lunches and refreshments and stuff like that, and then all the rest of the money goes directly to the Honor Flight.
That's cool. So, where's the website? So, where can people sign up if they're interested?
www.veteranshonorflight.southernillinois.org.
And what is the cost? Can you register as an individual, or do you need
It's a team. It's a 4-man team. We prefer to get a 4-man team. It's $125 per player or $500. I've had some teams that say, "Can we donate more than that?" And I said, "Sure, you can donate whatever you like, but $500 is kind of the minimum we're looking for."
Right. Obviously, this is a really impactful program, and as I'm sure you have, I've talked to so many people who have done this, and they almost describe it as life-changing when they get to take a veteran, to D.C. for the day and then see all these memorials. how have you seen lives impacted? Do you have any particular?
I can tell you, my dad was a World War II vet. Still lives here in Carbondale. He went several years ago before we had Veterans Honor Flight of Southern Illinois. We booked him up out of the Effingham group, and they actually made a flight out of Marion, about 7 or 8 years ago. And my dad was a World War II guy. Never talked much about it, but my sister, my brother, and I talked him into going. And my sister was his guardian. And he had not seen the World War II memorial, and when he got back, he just said it was one of the greatest days of his life.
Yeah.
Just recently, my father-in-law went on mission number 4, I think it was, and my wife was his guardian. And he was a late Korea, early Vietnam guy, and he's a Vietnam vet, and he got to go on the flight. And he was, again, one of those guys who wasn't sure he wanted to go, but we talked him into it and just said it was the greatest day of their life.
Yeah.
And the one thing that we, of course, we don't get to see it here, but my wife said when you get to Washington, they fly in there and there's groups there greeting the vets as they come in, and there'll be 4 or 5 honor flights be there at the same time from all over the country.
Oh, okay.
They come all from everywhere. But the coming home thing that they have at the airport is really something special, and anybody can come out and see that. I would suggest if you get a chance, October the 1st, if you've got a couple hours, you can spend the evening, go over to Veterans Airport there in Marion and watch the coming home celebration, because there's groups from churches and the motorcycle rider guys, and they play music and they announce each guy or gal as they're coming off the plane. It's
quite a reception.
It is quite a reception. It really is, and it's something they still talk about. A year later.
And it's pretty neat because a lot of those guys, and I don't know if that matters which war they were involved in. And this is for the war veterans. You may not have received a reception.
Yeah.
You went and you quietly came home and went about your business. So it's kind of a way to be recognized for your service.
Especially, I've heard a lot of the Vietnam guys that are getting to go now have said that.
Yeah.
We all kind of know what that was about, but I think their idea of coming home is a little bit different than it was several years ago when they came home before.
Yeah, I bet.
And they really enjoy it. And the groups that the board that runs the honor flight is here in Southern Illinois, they get it down to every detail. The veteran is basically catered all day long.
That's very cool.
They're taken by bus, they're fed, and they get to see all the monuments and stuff.
So we got about a minute, Kevin. So just to recap, if people want to get involved with, this is number 6, Veterans Honor Flight. That's October 1st.
Yeah.
How can they get involved in this fundraiser this week?
The fundraiser, you could contact me out there on the Facebook page. My email address is out there, Claney@galaxycable.net. We're selling T-signs or custom T-signs that the guys at the printing plant help us with, and we actually give those signs back to people. I know several businesses have done it. They display them in their offices.
Oh, cool.
And we also do we call them pin flags honor, where we have a flag on the golf course, and you can put it in a vet's name or in a family name, and we'll fly it on the golf course that day. And when the golf is done, we take the flags down, we give them back to the people that paid for the sponsorship. They do have the logo of the Honor Flight of Southern Illinois on them, and if they want a name or a family name on the flag, they can do that as well.
Nice.
But I've had a lot of support from corporate members or corporate sponsors and area businesses that have helped us out with lunch and refreshments and all those kind of good things.
Awesome.
It's really
so again, it's on the 13th from 1 to 5 at Hickory Ridge. That's a week from this Thursday.
Yeah, June 13th at 1 o'clock is the shotgun start. We do have an opening ceremony that's kind of cool. We have the color guard come out, and there'll be some service guys do the national anthem and Pledge of Allegiance and those kind of things. We do a coining ceremony, which is kind of neat. So if you wanted to come out just to see the opening ceremony, it's pretty something special.
That's very cool. Awesome. Great information. If you guys want to get involved, you have the details. And Kevin Claney, thank you very much for being involved in this and coming on today.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Appreciate you having me.
This wraps up another episode of Talk of the Town, and we're going to have some underwriting right now as we wait for Paula to take the helm here shortly. Have a great week, you guys.
This hour of programming is brought to you by EC Rental Center, serving Carbondale and the surrounding area for over 50 years, with quality equipment rental for homeowner, contractor, or special events. Pickup and delivery are available Monday through Saturday just off Route 13 at 1817 West Sycamore Street in Carbondale, or by calling 618-457-4127. For a complete product list, visit e-zrentalcenter.com.
This government had an idea and Parliament made it law. Seems like it's illegal to fight for the union anymore, and we'd sign